implemented in 21 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. The goal of the project is to improve the health of women and children by increasing access to modern contraceptive methods, as well as reducing maternal and child mobility and mortality through distribution of child survival products. The strategies used include evidence-based social marketing, strategic behavior change communication, which I'm going to be focusing on, and also community-based distribution. The objective is to expand and improve the knowledge of, access to, and also availability of these family planning and reproductive health methods, as well as child survival products. ESPIN worked in Shagamu local government area between January to June 2016 and implemented a community intervention where interpersonal communication agents were trained and deployed to the community to carry out IPC sessions, educating men and women of reproductive age on the need for family planning, the benefits, and also trying to correct myths and misconceptions surrounding child spacing methods. Now, this aroused interest among the women. The interest was great, but uptake of family planning was noticed to be low due to inadequate availability of trained providers within the health center that the women were referred to access these methods, as well as cost of available FP services. So SP, the Expanded Social Marketing Project in Nigeria, collaborated with another project, the FH Plus, implemented by another organization and implementing partner within the LGA to support service provision. So the SP project is involved in community mobilization, like I earlier mentioned, where we train interpersonal communication agents to carry out IPC sessions on child spacing and child survival products. While the Mariscopes International, the FA Plus project, is focused on service delivery. They have trained providers who provide family planning services, and they have a mobile service provision team. Now, because we are doing two different things, but aimed at achieving one thing, making sure that the woman who has a need for FP takes up a method, we came together to organize an outreach where SP mobilized women in need of family planning method, and Mariscopes International gave service provision, offered methods of choice to these women. Next slide, please. So the mobile outreach was carried out in SP locations in 3 communities in Shagamu LGA. These were Ajaka, Nikosi, and Ogijo communities in the LGA. Okay. Some pictures of the mobilization IPC agents mobilizing using job aids, and the Mariscopes team providing services in the community. Now, prior to between demand creation and service delivery is important because it leads to a more pronounced result. So projects and programs should look out for other organizations, other implementing partners who are doing something that can complement your work. In the case where your project is not providing training for providers, you can reach out to other partners that are providing training and collaborate in order to achieve the results of the program. So my acknowledgement goes to USAID, the Ogun State Ministry of Health, Shagamu LGA officials, the Mariscopes International Organization of Nigeria Mobile Outreach Team, the Expanded Social Marketing Project in Nigeria IPC agents working in Ogun State. Thank you very much.
SFH, you say that. I want to say the rest.
I bring you greetings from Imo State. My name is presenting a paper on strategic partnership linking behavior change communication with skilled service provision and LAC, that's long-acting reversible contraceptives, the story of Society for Family Health, United States Agency for International Development, expanded social marketing project in Nigeria, and the Marastopes Nigeria United States Agency for International Development Family Health Plus project in Imo State, Nigeria. This is a product of this paper is a product of the collaborative efforts between Marastopes Nigeria, Society for Family Health, and the Health Strategy and Delivery Foundation, with focus on the synergism between the state-funded FH Plus project, which was implemented by Marastopes, and the ESPIN project, which was implemented by SFH in Imo State. This is the outline of my presentation. Next slide, please. Okay. Although the contraceptive prevalence rate for Imo State is at 34.1%, the modern method is quite low at 10.7%. This is according to the Nigeria Demographic Health Survey of 2013. Reasons include socio-cultural barriers, inadequate service provision, inadequate trained service providers, high cost of family planning or lack services, with community members advocating for free FP services, and government support is marginal. FP budget is at 100,000 naira and is not accessible. In 2015, only 330 IUCDs and 49 implant insertions were done in Imo State. Now, the previous speaker has talked more about the ESPIN project. The expanded social marketing project in Nigeria is a USAID-funded project which is being implemented by Society for Family Health. They trained interpersonal change agents to reach men and women of reproductive ages with family planning messages, and demands are created and then referred to facilities where FH Plus has also trained 120 public service providers. Marastopes Nigeria has a USAID fund to implement the Family Health Plus project. At first, he trained 10 master trainers through the trainer of training session, and they came down to the States with his technical trainer, trained 120 providers on the provision of long-acting reversible contraceptive services. Now, these providers were given implants and insertion kits to go to their facilities, and they were also given job aids that will assist them in the provision of lab services. Each of the trained providers received 3 supportive supervision visits, and out of the 120 providers, as of the time of paper, as of the time that this was being written, 96 have been certified. And by being certified, we mean that each of the providers, the lab providers, have done at least 5 implant insertions, 5 IUCD insertions, without the aid of the master trainers. Next slide, please. Under ESPIN, 22 interpersonal communication agents were selected and trained. And what they did was to refer to health facilities. Okay, referrals to health facilities were issued by the IPCs to potential clients. Now, the FP registers and the health facilities were used to capture the uptake data, while SFH retrieved drop referral cards and cross-checked them with the health facility register. Now, on Family Health Plus, the training is a 6-day training with 4 days classroom sessions and 2 days field practical. What happens is that in the classroom session, the providers were taken through illustrative lectures, and then they practice on models, and there were demonstrations and return demonstrations. And then they were taken to the field by the master trainers to insert on real clients with the supervision of the master trainers. Now, the role of the Health Strategy and Delivery Foundation. It is an indigenous not-for-profit organization that tries to transform the health and social sector in Nigeria. This is done through the use of credible data or data evidence for quality planning, decision-making, and execution. Okay. It institutes and strengthens performance management. Next slide, please. under explain 117,466 number of men and women of rape ages were contacted between January to June 2016, and distribution done to private sector facilities with about commission trade about 1,062, depot provider injection 388, and Maristerats 172. Between January and June 2016, 208 CYP, that's couple years of protection, was generated through the short-term methods. While for FH Plus, 103 providers already were trained from 118 health facilities across the 27 local government areas. Analysis and qualified. Now, this graph illustrates the long-acting reversible contraceptive. As of 2015, what about 330 IUC insertions done and 49 implant insertions. But between January and June 2016, we had 799 IUC insertions and 4,813 insertions done for implants. Next slide. So the lessons we've learned is that integrating demand creation with skilled service delivery increases the uptake of FP services. And it's possible to migrate persons from non-use of traditional methods when ignorance is eliminated, quality services are available, and services are affordable. Okay, the first picture shows a lab training ongoing with an experienced resource person around to talk to them on BCC messaging. Then the other one is a lab training session. That's a pelvic model of the participants practicing on it. Next slide. Acknowledgements. We want to thank the Imo State Ministry of Health, the local government health primary health care coordinators, the state FP coordinator, and the local government area family planning focal persons, the lab providers in Imo State, the many IPC agents that work in the state, Marastos Nigeria, Health, Media and Delivery Foundation, and the M&E unit of SP in Imo State. Thank you.
Thank you. They've all spoken within the time allotted to them. We're going to go into, I'll make one quick comment and my colleague will make comments. I'm going to be brutally honest. You can block the door and stop me from coming out at your own risk. I think these are great presentations. As somebody that has been in family planning for more than 25 years, I feel disappointed. I'm being brutal. I'm brutally honest. We're not just learning about integration. If we're just learning about integration, then we have failed. We're just learning that when two partners partner together, they have to improve something, we have failed. Where is the role of community? Because this is a technical session. We are at a point where we should bring community leaders to this room and they will share their experiences of what has been done to them. For me, these are academic stuff. We are going to site to fill forms and come out to make PowerPoint presentation. This is why we are where we are in Nigeria. If the communities don't take ownership, you cannot sustain it. There's no sustainability without ownership. It's not possible. So, I'm sorry, but I have to say what is wrong. If I keep quiet, I will live here with hypertension. And I refuse to be hypertensive because of you. The first presentation, I just made a general comment. The first presentation, you compare public and private. Public sector facilities in Lagos is about 300 and something. Private sector is about 3,000 plus. So when you look at the weighting, and what you found, because you did not take into consideration the role of systems. Did you measure system? I understand the goal you set out, but in the context of system, did you take that into consideration? Did you take into consideration the role of regulation by the state government? The fact that we've worked in private sector. I'm coming from the background right now in the last 8 years of working in systems, and I can openly tell you why family planning has been failing because of our approach. So I think that was kind of narrow. I don't want to go into more detail there. Bekele did something on the inadequate provider. This is Ogun State. Pathfinder established a school of family planning in Idiaba. Is anybody from Ogun State here? There was a school that was set up, funded, furnished to train providers. What happened? Because when you say the reason you went is inadequate trained providers in a state, Ogun State or your state received the greatest family planning support in this country, in the beginning of family planning in this country. So if we're coming today to say inadequate, in Shagamu where you have a community center where DFID also supported, so the question is what is happening? It makes my heart to bleed. So I also do not agree that SFIT and MSI collaborating is something you're just finding out to be new. Let's talk to ourselves. If I'm wrong, you can spit at me. I'm being honest. So I don't think, I think we should have program design. USAID, I know Maureen was there just now. When you design a program, have integration in focus. Don't design a narrow program that will be looking for, begging for partner. I'm not saying partnership is nothing. Partnership is great. But design a program that from the beginning will embrace partnership. Partnership is not just between partners, but with the traditional institution, with religious institution, because that's where ownership will come. Finally, I'm sorry, like I said, it's the same thing with Esmin and F. You are the same brother and sister of organization, so it's the same sin you are committing. Tell MSI, SFA, that we're not just learning, that partnership works.
Thank you very much for that very brutal observations, but they are very frank, and I think that is the essence of our being here. I would want to maybe reserve my very brief comment to when we take orientations from the center, and I think with the chairman, with the permission of the executive chairman, I say we'll have any questions. How many do you have now? So we do a round of questions, then we close. How many want to ask questions? All right, so maybe, I think we can just, everybody wants to speak. So let's take 3 from this side, 3 from this side, but very, very briefly, so that going to be 6, because we have less than 10 minutes, I'm told, isn't it? All right.
Mama, you come to me.
Oh no, use that, use this thing. 3 from this side, right? Use that mic.
Aspect of BCC highlighted. So, I mean, that was the aspect I expected according to when the presentation was introduced. So I think it would have given a better idea of how it really happened and what lessons we could have learned from that.
Thank you. One more here? Okay.
I just wanted her to explain to me, I saw the figures, and so I'm wondering, are those figures of the numbers that took are they purely from the mobile clinic, or is this an addition of the figures from the mobile clinic and from the facility? Because speaking to what you said about sustainability, to be sure they're taking in the facility.
Then the last one on this row.
Yeah, okay, my own also is just very brief that, as Mike mentioned, Mighty Mike, you made mention of community ownership. Of course, that is one of the areas that I wanted to hear, whether you have some support or some rejection or negation by the community leaders, religious leaders, traditional leaders of those areas, because that's where I remember you in 2002, some 14 years ago, you mobilized religious leaders in northern Nigeria, especially Islamic scholars in Kano. They made a book reproductive health in Nigeria, Islamic perspective. You are the one who made it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we take 2 from this side, 3 from this side. Yes, number 1.
Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to comment on the first presenter. Yeah, the first presenter. I was quite a number of things that I took down, but by and large, I was surprised that the public facilities were actually outsmarted the private facilities. And then again, I was just wondering, is it a fair comparison? Really, looking at the dynamics, private facility has its own dynamics, public facility has its own systems and processes and so many other things. Is it really a fair comparison? And then again, just to talk about quality, there was no input from the client's perspective. When you talk about the client satisfaction, how people were satisfied about the services, service uptake and other things. Basically, it was looking at infrastructure, number of services offered, number of this offered. Perhaps that would have given, if the client satisfaction rating was also done for both public and private, that would have given more flesh to it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the presenters. My name is Sonoro Desire. I think just to build on what Eda has said and Mike, integration among partners is obvious. A key lesson from what you presented is the fact that a donor integrated partners, integrated service provision, and DCC. So what will you say is your lesson learned from the perspective of the person that gave you money to work? Because one gave money to A, gave money to B. Were they comfortable with the idea of integrating services? What are the key lessons? Because that's my takeaway from this, that if I do not integrate services across partners, you're likely to get better results. So were there any lessons that we learned doing it?
Last question.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask the question. I'm Dr. Day George from the Muslim Ministry of Health. I must commend Dr. Shidara for his presentation. I have a question. My question is, how do we sustain this gain in Imo State by these donor agencies? And again, I want to make an observation as soon as they wind down their program in the state. Now, I want to make an observation. In Imo State, the family planning budget is more than 100,000. If it's not more than 100,000, it means we lack a misdirection. But the problem we are having is that we need to advocate for the release of these funds in family planning budget line we have in the state. Thank you.
Chairman, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Well, my comments before you just through to you, because you may also need to address some of our concerns, is that this is, we are chairing this session. Actually, it's a scientific conference where we need to make critics, then it will really be very, very difficult on you because there are so many things there. Because I can see some mixed sort of studies, but there are key elements that need to come out to preach, to make the message very clear to all of us. But what I have seen generally in the entire presentation, thank you very much for that, is the issue of complementarity, collaboration, partnership, which are not new. They are not new at all. Now, my question is, in the case of Lagos State, where the private facility outnumber the public facilities, what lessons, or how do we take advantage of the differential outcomes to improve services in the state? Secondly, is yes, the partnership and the collaboration, as we have seen, a very astronomical rise in service output or outcomes. But then, the issue of sustainability, as somebody, is not only in Imo State but other places. What are the sustainability issues or sustainability fronts within the landscape becoming? If everybody go, if every child goes, all of them go away, I keep saying it, and the people are now talking of the donor fatigue, and of course we know what happens in the Paris IHP Plus and so on and so forth. Those are the lessons that we will probably want to drive forward as we move ahead in this. And I think you will also take the chairman's concern in very good faith, and because again, you might be modifying this to present them in other fora, and certainly they will put a lot of issues on you. So thank you very much. limited time, so we'll just start from you.
Thank you very much for the comments and questions. With respect to the chairman's comments, the issue of context of the system and the role of regulations was not part of the survey. Unfortunately, because of the very short time, I was not able to present the details of the survey design. But it's a mobile phone, PMA 2020 is a mobile phone assisted survey, and it's all about tracking indicators over time that are related to the FP 2020 goals. So this particular survey does not take that into account. However, we do engage communities before we start data collection, and we do work very closely with the State Ministry of Health so that we can ensure that the research is translated to policy, so that those who can make a difference really have these numbers at hand. And the quick turnaround nature of the survey makes it possible for us to provide timely information that they can use to make change. Then regarding whether or not it's a fair comparison looking at public and private facilities, I guess it depends on which side you look at it from. In Lagos State, as has been mentioned, there are many more private facilities than public facilities. And in fact, in our survey, I only focused on information from the service delivery points, but we did interview women who were 15 to 49 years of age. But given the very short time of the presentation, there was no way I could also present those results. However, I will mention one thing from those results. 19.3% of women obtain services from the public sector. So in fact, basically 80% of women in our survey obtain services from the private sector. So it may not be a fair comparison if you look at it with respect to numbers, but if you look at it with respect to reaching the ultimate goal of increasing the CPR, then public and private facilities must work together so that women are able to obtain quality services wherever they choose to go, and so that they can have a wide range of commodities to choose from wherever they choose to go. So if more women are going to private facilities, then the standards should be such that both public and private facilities are well organized and administered enough so that wherever she goes, she gets the best services. So there is a lot of information from the viewpoint of the women, but it's not part of this presentation. Dr. Radloff will be making a presentation on Wednesday, and he will provide an overview. It's a plenary session. He'll provide an overview of data from all 7 states, and that will include information from both the service delivery points as well as the women. So you can get a broader view from that. Plus, if you visit our booth, we have 2 pagers from each of the 7 states. You can get information from women 15 to 49 as well as the service delivery points. I think I've answered the main parts.
Thank you for your observation and comments as well as questions. For the first question, the figures were both from the mobile outreach team and that retrieved from the health facility. And these outreaches were conducted within a health facility so that the women can also have access when the mobile outreach team is gone for follow-up and further services. So they were retrieved both within the mobile outreach team and subsequently. Then for lessons learned from the donor angle, the donor had given funds to 2 different organizations to do basically 2 different activities. One was focused on community mobilization, which had to do more with the BCC, while the Maristopes was focused on service delivery. Now, the 2 of them had to complement each other to provide the service, not just end in demand creation, but as well to provide service, the service delivery aspect of the FP. So I think for that, the donor put in consideration that these 2 are complementing each other, and since they're working in the same location, they can do this together. Now, for community involvement, I would also comment, my colleague will be speaking more on that later today. The ESPIN project is designed in such a way that we do not work alone. Starting from the community mapping, we involve the stakeholders, the community leaders, the religious leaders. In the second month of the cycle, usually we have what we call the town hall meeting, where we invite all the community stakeholders, the religious leaders, the health providers, so that they can discuss around the project and discuss even further sustainability plans, even when the funds are not coming any longer. Also talking about sustainability, there's, the project has taken a new turn now based on the task shifting policy, where community health extension workers now provide services, not just demand creation alone. This is the new take. The work presented was done between January and June, but starting from July to as we speak now, what is happening in the communities where ESPIN is being implemented is that community health extension workers conduct IPC sessions, talk to the men and women of reproductive age on family planning, and then the women who are interested in these family planning services are counseled and services are provided. And this will even continue when, even if donor funds are no more coming, because the services, the products are available, and then these community health extension workers are within the communities where the intervention is going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions and comments. Let me respond to the question: how do you sustain the project after the donors have left in Imo State? In Imo, Marascope Nigeria, in partnership with Palladium, formed the Family Planning Advocacy Working Group. And the goal of this group is simply to promote programs and policies that will allow for the uptake of family planning. And currently this group already has a goal. They formed a plan, and in their goal is to lift the contraceptive prevalence rate of Imo from 34.1% to 50.1%. And they want to do this by paying advocacies to stakeholders in government and in the states to allow for the family planning budget to be accessible. But the challenge we have in the state is that there is an FP budget, but it is not accessible. To increase the budget and to make it accessible. Then we also have the last week the 27 FP focal persons held a meeting of which I was present, and they decided that in a bid to improve family planning in the LGAs, that they would begin family planning outreaches, where family planning providers in the LGA will come together in one facility, create awareness and provide services. This is their own plans to sustain FP services in the state. And they also want to take advantage of the national primary health care under one roof. By the time it becomes fully implemented in the states, there is provision for training of more LAC providers and family planning providers in the states. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you've gotten something from this session. Because we're going to be breaking for lunch, but just one quick comment. If there must be something you take away from here, that when we make statements like let the public and private sector work together, what do we really mean? What is the meaning? I'm not asking for the answer. Think about it. When you say let's work together, it's just like saying let's carry government along. What do you mean? You carry them like babies? Define it. How do you carry government along? How do you make them active participants, not passive recipients of grants? They must be active. How do you get government to be on the driver's seat? Until they're on the driver's seat, we will continue to come here to beg. Like that man from Imo was saying just now. So take that one away. I think for Norio there have been lessons USAID has funded family health services initiative. They have brought different partners together. They had BCC, they had logistics, they had M&E, you know, everything was in a package. And so the states that were supported received enough support, you know, and you could see what happened as opposed to these fragmented donors, you know, giving, partners giving money to implement something different. There was Compass and Enhance. And there was also, Pass 2 is just coming to an end. It's an integrated program that has different components at the federal, at the state, the center level, BCC, and community support. If you go to the states where those programs were implemented, you see the difference. So I think let us not just, I'm just saying now that we should be provocative. You cannot, you know, comfort zone, you remain there until you die. But if you are uncomfortable in your comfort zone, then you progress. Failing to talk because somebody invited us here will not help the program. God bless you. Thank you, my brother. Lodge, the announcement is that lunch starts now. I must finish in 45 minutes. Lunch is at outside there and one other hall. Forgotten the name. The hall is opposite, I know the name. As you come out from this side, the hall will be facing you. I think it's Zuma or whatever, I forgot to do. Ask your colleague, they will tell you. How did you do? And thank you, the presenters.